Hello everyone, this is Jahnavi. I am from third year CSCB. Now I am going to discuss with you about servlets. Let us see what are servlets in Java. Servlets are fundamental part of Java development, allowing for dynamic content to be generated and served up to users. In essence, servlets are Java classes that extend the capabilities of servers that host applications accessed through a web server. They provide a way to handle requests and responses between the server and client, enabling developers to create highly interactive and responsive websites. Let us see how do servlets work. Servlets are Java classes that handle requests and responses between a web server and client. The lifestyle of a server includes initialization, service, and destruction. During the service phase, the servlet receives a request from the client and returns a response. The servlet container manages the creation and destruction of servlet instances. Now let us see how we can create a servlet. To create a basic servlet in Java, you first need to create a Java class that extends the HTTP servlet class. This class will handle HTTP requests and responses. Next, you need to override the doGet or doPost method depending on which HTTP method you want to handle. In this method, you can write the code to handle the request and generate the response. Let us see servlet configuration. Servlets can be configured using either the web.xml file or annotations. The web.xml file is an XML document that contains configuration information for the web application, including servlet mappings, initialization parameters, and security constraints. Annotations, on the other hand, are Java language constructs that allow developers to embed metadata directly in their code. Annotations provide a more concise way of configuring servlets, but they may not be suitable for all situations. To configure a servlet using web.xml file, you need to add a servlet element and a servlet mapping element to the file. The servlet element defines the servlet class and any initialization parameters that the servlet requires. The servlet mapping element maps the servlet to a URL pattern that clients can use to access the servlet. To configure a servlet using annotations, you simply add the appropriate annotation to the servlet class. For example, the @web servlet annotation can be used to define the servlet class and URL mapping in a single step. Now let us see the servlet filters. Servlet filters are an essential part of the Java web development that allow developers to modify requests and responses. They can be used to perform tasks such as authentication, logging, and compression. There are several types of filters including authentication filters, logging filters, compression filters, encryption filters. Each type of filter has its own unique purpose and can be customized to meet the needs of a specific application. Now let us see what is session management. Session management is an important aspect of web development, and servlets provide a powerful tool for managing user sessions. When a user visits a website, the server creates a unique session for that user, which can be used to store information about the user's activity on the site. Servlets allow developers to create, modify, and destroy these sessions as needed. This makes it possible to implement features like user authentication, personalized content, which are essential for many modern websites. Now let us conclude this topic. In conclusion, servlets are a crucial component of Java web development. They provide a powerful and flexible way to handle requests and responses, manage user sessions, and apply filters to modify website behavior. By using servlets, developers can create dynamic and interactive websites that meet the needs of their users. Throughout this presentation, we have explored the basics of servlets, including their life cycle, configuration options, and best practices for coding.